Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 11th. November 11th is the 315th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 316th in leap years, with 50 days remaining to the end of the year. November 11th is also known as Veterans Day, Armistice Day, and Remembrance Day, where we recognize and celebrate the armistice that was signed on November 11th, 1918, ending World War I, and in America to honor our American military veterans. Thank you for your service. In that vein, today's word is patriot. Patriot is a noun that means one who loves and supports his or her country. This word comes to us from French, Latin before that, and Greek before that. First known use of the word patriot is 1577, patriot. And with that, on November 11th, 1918, on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour, as it is said, an armistice was signed to end what has now come to be known as World War I. The fighting had gone on for about 4 years, and everybody was tired. But the war ended with an armistice, an agreement to stop fighting rather than a surrender. Germans sent a delegation to the Allies, and Allies had something of a proposal ready. The Germans wished to negotiate some of the terms that were presented to them, and a very few small accommodations were granted, very small ones. All parties haggled throughout the night and finally signed the armistice. Terms were pretty strict on the Germans, which generated some humiliation and bitterness that ultimately led to World War II, but that's a story for another day. The bright and wonderful good news for this day is that the armistice was signed, ending World War I. On a related note, this is the birthday of General George S. Patton, born November 11th, 1885. One of his nicknames is Old Blood and Guts. He participated in both World Wars and lived to the age of 60. The Tomb of the Unknowns was dedicated by President Warren G. Harding at Arlington National Cemetery on November 11th, 1921. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.